Alright, you lot, how's it going? What a lovely bloody evening it is. I don't know what day it is. It's Saturday evening, around about 7 o'clock. There is the clock. 10 past 7 on a Saturday evening. Just thought, let's have a bit of a tidy up. I spent all day doing stuff indoors, trying to sort out the conservatory, just sorting out kids' toys basically. Those of you that have got children will know that toys build up before you even realise it. You don't even realise. You think you're keeping it clean and organised until you look in the toy box and you think, my God. Anyway, I spent all day sorting out and organising toys and all sorts. 2 great big handmade wooden toy boxes now with seats on the top of them with lids that we don't want. So anyway, that's not really any concern of yours. But I thought, let's have a little look around in here, and I decided to give my batteries a bit of a maintenance. And that glow starter there, that blue one's been in trouble, and I put it on charge. It's been on charge now for 234 minutes, and add on to that 150 minutes because it was charging, got to 150 minutes, and I moved it from there to there. And this might trick some of you lot. It used to trick me, but now I'm wise to it. If you've got a glow starter on charge with a charger like that, which when it's finished it beeps and stops charging, if you move the glow starter and you move the connection, if the connection breaks and then comes back again, or even if it breaks for a millisecond, the charger will go bloop, 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 bloop. It's full, and it'll tell you the battery's full, but it's not. It's because the connection's been moved. It's tricked me in the past. You know, where I've had glow starters on charge there, or even other batteries. You know, if it's just with the connection. If it breaks for a millisecond, the charger will tell you the battery's full. It won't say battery connection break. It will tell you the battery's full. Now that happened, so I put it back on charge, and we're still charging at 0.5 amps for 235 minutes so far. On top of the 150 minutes it did before it told me the battery was full. Anyway, charging up all these batteries here on that one. I will be done that one already. That one there's on charge in the Mini T at the moment. I've got 2 of these that are the same because they don't get used very often. So now and again, I just give them a charge up and a run down and a charge up. You know what I mean? Just to keep them active, because if the chemistry starts to settle, that's when your batteries don't really hold a charge anymore, and they're not really any good. This GT Power X2 Pro is the nuts. If you remember, about a year ago, probably, yeah, about a year ago I think, maybe 2 years ago, I'm not really sure, GT Power themselves contacted me and they sent me this charger and some other bits and bobs to test and review, and I did that, but I've been using it ever since. And very good charger. You can charge 2 batteries at the same time, you can switch between, you can do 1 nickel metal hydrate, and you can do 1 LiPo if you wanted. You know, you can do all kinds of stuff with it, and more than just charge. It tests batteries, it does all kinds of stuff. Very, very good charger thingamajig. And you can buy these now. I didn't realise it before, but you can buy them in Wheelspin Models and probably some other shops. But when I got this, I thought that they were from GT Power only. They have got their own website, but anyway, technically still sponsored by it, considering they gave it to me, so thought I'd mention it. But honestly, that gets so much use. I know I've got these 2 chargers here, but this one gets so much use. And it's still going strong. It's got a little fan in it. Very, very good thing. Anyway, just giving these batteries a bit of a recon. But also, tomorrow, hopefully, I'm going to go out and have a little bit of a Nitro morning. Got the Haggard Hyper 7 ready to rock and roll. Literally, that is now, as far as I'm aware, fingers crossed, I haven't noticed anything else. It'll probably break tomorrow, but it's got the original carb back on it with a new needle, high-speed needle, and a new O-ring ready to go. And it took a little while to start, as you would have seen in that other video, but now it starts immediately. You know, that's just the way engines go. Sometimes they be a bit stubborn if they've not been run properly or something. And yeah, and also we've got the Tiger SSK. The body shell's somewhere else at the minute. I'm going to put it on in a minute, but that's ready to go. Full of nitro already. ready to go. Batteries charged up. Everything is mended on that at the moment. So everything should be working, and you wouldn't believe the amount of attention this thing has got. I've had messages and messages and more messages saying to me, when are you going to sell the Thunder Tiger SSK? I'm really interested in the SSK. When are you going to sell it? Do you want to swap it for this? Do you want to swap it for that? People have been asking me, do I want to swap it for all sorts? People have been saying to me, they've offered me, I would never have expected a Thunder Tiger SSK to have that much attention. But it is going to be for sale, or possibly up for a swap. There's 3 or 4 people that have offered me things to swap it for, which I'm quite interested in, and other people have offered me money, obviously. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but it looks like the ball's possibly in my court. I don't know, but I'm definitely going to take it, hopefully tomorrow, and give it a good run, and hopefully nothing breaks. You never know, man, because it's just life. And you can't say, well, that's Nitro breaks all the time. No, everything can break. Absolutely everything can break. Your push bike can break. Everything can break. Yeah, even this fuel bottle, this Nitro bottle, this can break. Yeah, this is fine now. I could go out tomorrow, go to use it, squeeze it, and it could split. Yeah, anything can break. So when people say, oh, it's just Nitro, they break all the time. Electric's much better. No, what a load of rubbish. Electric breaks as well. Safety timeout. Well, look, so it's been charging for so long, we've got a bloody safety timeout. Alright, back on again. There we go. 150 minutes, 200 and whatever that was, plus more, and it's still going. So that was very, very flat. No wonder it wasn't working every time I tried to use it. A lot of people are asking about the Octane, Savage Octane. This has gained a lot of attention, and rightly so, because what a brilliant truck it is. I've beaten around the bush, milked it for as long as I can. Actually, I think I've got 2 or 3 CDIs or coils, whatever you want to call them. They call them CDI. I don't care what they're called. I've got 2 or 3 of them from airplanes, lurking somewhere. Lurking around somewhere in boxes. I know I have. One of them was a crashed airplane that crashed in a field near where I was working, and it was demolished. The wings had snapped off. We put a little thing out to say, has anyone crashed an RC airplane locally? And no one said anything. And it was sitting in the back of the yard for ages. Someone ran it over with a forklift as well. But I was going to nick the whole, not nick, but it got to a point where it was obvious no one was going to claim it. It was there for months. Before anybody says you should have done this, done that. It was there for months, and we put our thing out. People put it out on their local Facebooks and forums, and no one claimed this plane. It had one of those twin engine, I forget what they're called. It's a Stinger, might be a Stinger. Anyway, I nicked a few bits off of it before, because they put it in a scrap bin. They got rid of it, put it in a skip, and I thought, well, I'm going to have that. I was going to take the whole engine, but I'd realised, I don't know whether it was when it crashed or whether when it got run over by the forklift, but the engine was actually, the block was cracked, so I thought I'm not going to have that. But I nicked the CDI thing, and a few other bits, and the others I've just acquired. I know there's definitely 3 of them here somewhere. They're like a little, they're not long like the Savage ones. They're like a square box, not a rectangle. Different plugs on, I can work that out. And all a CDI does exactly the same thing. It will give out the same voltage, because a petrol engine spark plug needs the same voltage. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be a 2-litre engine. It could be a 15cc engine like this one on this Octane. Needs the same amount of voltage. Does exactly the same thing. So I was going to give them a go, but I can't find them. And about probably not long after I got that Octane, I actually ordered the coil, the CDI, a proper one, HPI one, but it's been on back order now for ages and ages and ages, because the place that I've got it from, they said that they're on back order. You know, they order them from HPI and they haven't yet delivered them. And it's been, I don't know how long I've had that Octane. I've had it for ages, probably, I don't even know, a month, 2 months, might even be 2 months, 3 months. It's definitely months. And Yeah, it's got to be months. Anyway, so that might turn up soon. I don't know. If it turns up, then I'm just going to put the original, a proper HPI one on it, and that'll be that. It'll be mended, because we all know that that is the problem. It's common. It happens on motocross bikes, and those Octanes are very common for it. Them CDI boxes, they do go. You know, I've had many motocross bike in the past when I used to do a bit of motocross where it would run intermittently, and it's always the CDI box, which usually is located on the frame, either underneath the petrol tank or on the thingy, the yoke or whatever it's called, where the handlebars are. The CDI sometimes is there. Put a new one on and it run a mint. But yeah, so depends what turns up first. If the HPI one turns up that I ordered, then that'll be going on. But if I can find in a box, they might even be in the loft in my bungalow, in my house. Actually, they might be in the loft, but there's 3 lurking somewhere. And but anyway, that is the story with that. People are asking, what about the Octane? That is what's going on. I'm just CDI boxes, man. Whichever one turns up first, whichever one I can get first, I'm going to put on and go for it. Oh, by the way, before anyone says Will Spin models, and there's a few other shops that have them in stock, shipping within 4 to 5 days. I know they have, but the trouble is I don't want to be bloody ordering loads of them. You know what I mean? Once I order something, I'm loyal to it. So the shop that I've ordered it from, I'm not going to turn around and say, actually, I want to cancel, because I'm loyal to it. You know, I've already said to them, don't worry. When it gets to you, it gets to you. But do be honest, if you don't think you're going to get it, let me know and give me a refund, in which case I'll go and get it from somewhere else. And they said, okay, no problem. They could send me an email tomorrow and say, look, it doesn't look like we're going to get it anytime soon, so here's your refund. They could do, I don't know. But anyway, I know other places have got them in stock. Probably going to be a lot faster, but I'm just loyal to what I've done. Do you know what I mean? So, and I don't want to spend more money on another one, and then, do you know what I mean? So that's the crack. And in order to fund a lot of this stuff, yeah, I sell the stuff that I've accumulated over the years, you know. So I've sold a few things, and I've got more for sale. I've got an old typewriter, I've got an old Philips hi-fi system from the 1980s, and a clock from the 1930s or 40s. Still, that's got to go, and that clock's going to go soon, and that hopefully should fund everything I need to get that up and running mint. We pretty much know the only problem is going to be that CDI. This Mini T I don't use enough anymore. I got it all up and running, got it all going perfectly, and then I just don't use it. Got new batteries for it, a new ESC for it. It's got the same motor, the old motor, new steering servo because that broke. But I had great fun with this. I bought this around the same sort of time from JD Models, which was my local model shop back when I was a kid. Well, I say local, it was about an hour away, but it was the only one that I knew of, and it's where I got the Savage 21 from, and the Rush Evo, my lovely Rush Evo. Savage 21 was a present. The Rush Evo I bought with my pocket money that I saved up, and this Mini T, this was bloody expensive. I think it was about, oh man, I can't remember. I think it was about £100, which back in 2003 or 4, maybe 2005, that was a bloody lot of money for a little car like this. But again, it was money that I'd been saving up. You know, I love saving pocket money, put it in a little tin. I had a proper little tin, saving that up, and then as soon as, because what I used to do when I was a kid, and I still do it now, right? If there's something that I want, yeah, let's just say, for example, I don't know, I don't really want anything. I don't want for stuff anymore, being an adult, you know what I mean? Let's just say I wanted a Mini T, right, when I was a kid. I see that in the shop. I thought, I want that, right? So that was in my head all the time. Every time I got a penny, 20p, 50p, a pound, you know, or even a £5 note, which bloody hell, a £5 note back then to me was like bloody gold. I thought I was on top of the world if someone gave me a £5 note. That would go in my pot, and I wouldn't spend it. I'd go out with my mates, and they'd go in the corner shop and they'd buy sweets. Well, back then you could get penny sweets, literally a penny, yeah. So you could get 20 penny sweets for 20p back then. Not now. Each sweet's probably about £1. But anyway, now and again I might splash out 20p on a bag of sweets. But then I'll be getting sweets and I'll be saving up my money. And I ended up getting myself that. So I used it a hell of a lot, man. That used to be blasted around on the streets, in the garden. Back then I was a Kevin Talbot, man. I didn't care about anything. But it never ever broke. And neither did the Rush or the Savage 21. They never broke. Things only seem to break now that I'm an adult. I think they break now that I'm an adult because they know that I can afford, well, I can't afford, but I potentially can afford to mend them. I reckon they knew. When I was a kid, they were like, we can't break. This poor kid, if we break, he's never going to mend it, and he's not going to be able to play with us. But now he's an adult, we can break as much as we like, and he'll just go out and do more work to get some more money to pay for us, to mend us. I'm not stupid. I know how these things work, you know what I mean? I know how things work, and it's exactly the same with real full-size cars, you know. I know how they work. If you're lucky enough to have a bit of a spare penny or two in the bank, your car goes, hold on a minute, he's got some spare change, I'm going to break. But when you're literally skint, you've got not a penny in the bank, your car's like, hold on a minute, this poor bloke, he ain't got a penny in the bank, I'm not going to break just yet, I'm going to wait until he's got some pennies in the bank, and then I'll break, because then he can afford to mend me. I know how they work, I'm not stupid. I don't know, some people were saying that Nitro is going out of fashion. You know, people don't want Nitro anymore. I don't know, man. I do disagree with that somewhat. I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't think it's Nitro engines, you know, Nitro cars or buggies themselves that are necessarily going out of fashion or whatever. It's the people. The people are dying. That's what it is. And do you want to know what I mean by the people are dying? I'll tell you. The modern world, the modern society, modern people are nowhere near as patient, or as just, not even as patient, they're just not as motivated, I think is a good word, as people even 10 years ago, you know, 10, 15, 20 years ago and further back. People just aren't these days. Think of it this way, right? These days, people sit in their armchairs or on their settees and they say to a little speaker that sits on the side, turn on the lights. They say something further. They say, Alexa or Google or whatever you've got. Turn on the light, living room lights. Turn off the turn on the kitchen lights. Do this, do that. You know what I mean? Got bloody spider webs everywhere. Been in the corner there trying to sort something out. Spider webs all over me. Anyway, and some people even use that Uber, Deliveroo and all that kind of stuff to get bloody things like bottles of milk and biscuits and bread and whatever, because they don't want to get up and go down to the local corner shop or wherever to buy a bottle of milk. The amount I see when I'm out and about walking everywhere, these Uber Eats and Deliveroos and all that, literally bread and milk to people that I know are not elderly. They're perfectly well, they answer the door. Young people, do you know what I mean? Very, very lazy. Now what I'm saying by this is people haven't got any interest in doing something which takes a little bit of effort, which is nitro cars, you know. People, they're interested in the RC concept, little radio controlled car. Wow, that's great fun, let's have one of them. Oh, a little engine sounds kind of interesting. But when they find out that they've got to put fuel in it, they've got to do a little bit of maintenance. Not a lot, because nitro doesn't require a lot of maintenance. I don't care what anybody says. Same as any hobby. You can make it as easy or as difficult as you want to make it, yeah. That's the same with any hobby. It doesn't matter what you do. If you do sewing for a hobby, yeah, you can make it very easy and simple. Nice little small sewing machine, or even hand sewing if you want. And you can make pillowcases, you can make garments, you can do whatever you want with a little tiny beginner's sewing machine, yeah. Or if you want to go a bit more complicated, you can get one of those massive ones that does all kinds of different stitches, does embroidery. You can make it as difficult or as easy as you want to make it, right? So nitro, it doesn't take a lot, yeah. Literally got to put a bit of fuel in it. Might have to change a glow plug now and again, charge up a glow starter. That's about it. You might have to change a pole start now and again if you snap it. But people don't want that. They don't want anything. If anything breaks, anything goes wrong, they're not interested. They buy something, and I've got to do that as well. Oh, bloody hell, I've got to actually, like, turn some screws to make it run right. Why can't it just run right out the box? Because that's the nature of an engine. You know, you have to adjust them. All engines are the same. You might not realise it, but your car that you drive, if it's I more or less guarantee that most of you probably are up to your eyes in finance, so you probably got a new car, yeah, petrol or diesel, doesn't matter. It's that ECU is constantly adjusting the air-fuel mixture to make that engine run right. Before that, you had carburetors and you had mechanical diesel injection pumps, which you could tweak depending on. The diesel ones didn't really need nothing, but the carburetors on petrol engines, in the winter, you might have to do a little bit of a tweak, reaching up just a tad to get it to run all right in the winter. In the summer, you might have to go the other way a little bit just to get it to run good in the summer, in the hotter, maybe more humid times. But you didn't have to, but it helped if you did. Same with Nitro, you know, a little bit of an adjustment. But people just don't want that, you know. They don't want anything that requires any extra effort. Because these days, just getting up off the settee and flicking a light switch is too much effort for most people. So, in my opinion, it's the people that are killing Nitro. Because everybody's getting lazy. And I'm definitely not. So I'm not putting myself in that category. You know, we've got light switches. We haven't got any speakers that you can talk to. I've got nothing. Everything is normal in my home. Yeah, taps that you turn on manually, lights that you turn on yourself. You know, doors with a key. None of this automatic door thing that opens up when you walk close to it. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a whole video on the whole thing, in my opinion. But definitely, it's not Nitro. Nitro hasn't changed. The manufacturers are making cars that are more boring than they were before. Back years ago, they made cars that were exciting. You know, that's when they made the Savages and all the other cars. They were exciting. Now they're just making boring ones because they can't be bothered to do proper designs themselves. I think humans in general, they're all getting lazy, which is making the RC hobby, particularly Nitro, seem to die off. But it's the people that are dying off. Anyway, I'm out of here, you lot. Treat people nice, and I'll see you later on. All the best. Take care.